Imagine a place where the air you breathe can freeze before it hits the ground. A place where the average winter temperature hovers around -40 degrees, and thermometers have recorded an astonishing 64 degrees below zero. Welcome to Yakutsk, Siberia, a remote city in Russia, and officially the coldest city in the world. But the real question isn't how cold it is. It's how more than 300,000 people manage to call this extreme icebox home. Here, the land itself is a challenge. Yakutsk is the largest city in the world, built entirely on permafrost soil that remains frozen year-round. If they built houses directly on the ground, the heat from the buildings would melt the underground ice, causing the structures to collapse. That's why everything is elevated on stilts. And transportation? It's a daily headache. If you leave your car engine turned off on the street for too long in the winter, the oil freezes and the vehicle becomes an unusable block of ice until spring. Many residents leave their cars running 24 hours a day or store them in heated garages that cost a small fortune. Stepping outside in a Yakutsk winter is no walk in the park. It's a tactical operation. Exposing bare skin to the air for more than 10 minutes can result in severe frostbite. Residents dress in layers wool, down, and heavy thermal materials. Animal fur is still widely used out of sheer survival necessity. Children, however, still go to school. Classes are only canceled when thermometers drop below -52 degrees Celsius. Life doesn't stop. It just adapts. Freezing fog is a constant, creating an atmosphere where visibility is reduced to just a few meters, muffling the sounds of the city. Perhaps the most iconic image of Yakutsk is its open-air market. There is no need for refrigerators or freezers. The outdoors is the most efficient freezer on the planet. Here, they sell horse meat, reindeer, and river fish. The local diet is, by nature, rich in proteins and fats, which are essential to keep the body warm and provide the energy needed to fight the extreme cold. One of the most famous delicacies is stroganina, raw fish, frozen in the river ice, sliced very thinly, and eaten with salt and pepper. It's Siberian sushi, consumed for centuries by the region's indigenous peoples. But Yakutsk keeps a secret that surprises many people. Winter doesn't last forever. The climate is extreme, on both ends of the thermometer. During the short summer, from mid-June to August, temperatures soar and can exceed 35 degrees Celsius. It's a thermal shock of nearly 90 degrees Celsius between seasons. People make the most of every second. They rush to the parks, celebrate local summer festivals, have picnics by the Lena River, and deal with massive swarms of mosquitoes that emerge from the thawing wet soil. Yakutsk is not just the coldest city in the world. It is the ultimate testament to human resilience and adaptability. Where many would see an inhospitable and uninhabitable ice desert, its residents find a home, a strong community, and an unwavering pride in their ability to thrive at the edge of nature. If there is one thing to learn from Yakutsk, it is that no matter how adverse the environment, life invariably finds a way to move forward. While the outside world is a frozen wilderness, stepping indoors reveals a stark contrast. The interiors of homes and businesses in Yakutsk are heavily heated, often kept at a sweltering 25 degrees Celsius or more. This massive heating effort is powered by colossal thermal plants that operate relentlessly, billowing thick white steam into the frigid sky. If these plants were to fail, the city's plumbing would freeze and burst within hours, making survival nearly impossible. The warmth of the indoors is a sanctuary, a hard-won luxury that residents don't take for granted. Even getting fresh drinking water can be a unique chore. While modern apartments have running water, the pipes must be heavily insulated and kept above ground. In the surrounding suburbs and rural villages, winter water supply often relies entirely on ice. Families harvest massive blocks of ice from the frozen rivers, stacking them outside their homes like firewood. When they need water to drink or cook, they simply chop off a piece and let it melt on the stove. You might naturally wonder, why build a city of this size in such an unforgiving, hostile environment? the answer lies buried deep beneath the ice. The Sakha Republic, of which Yakutsk is the capital, is phenomenally wealthy in natural resources. It produces roughly 20% of the world's rough diamonds, along with vast quantities of gold, uranium, and natural gas. The extreme climate is simply the price paid for living on top of a geological treasure chest. High wages in the mining and energy sectors keep many families rooted here, balancing the harsh weather with economic opportunity. The permafrost is so unyielding that it even dictates how the city handles death. Digging a grave in Yakutsk is a laborious, exhausting process that can take several days. Because the ground is as hard as solid concrete, grave diggers must light bonfires to thaw a thin layer of soil, dig it out, and then light another fire. This grueling cycle is repeated until the grave is deep enough, a stark reminder that the ice governs every aspect of existence, from birth to the very end. Yet, there is a vibrant social life that pushes back against the darkness and the cold. When the deep winter sets in, life moves inside. Theaters, museums, and cozy cafes become the beating heart of the community. People gather for rich, heavy meals, drinking hot tea to warm their bones, and sharing stories. The isolation breeds a deep sense of camaraderie. When a car breaks down on a desolate road, it is an unspoken rule that the next driver must stop to help, because leaving someone stranded is a matter of life and death. Despite the immense physical hardships, the people of Yakutsk don't just survive, they embrace their unique identity. They are a community forged by the cold, sharing a bond that only those who have endured the deepest, darkest winters can truly understand. It is a city of sharp contrasts, boundless resourcefulness, and a profoundly warm human spirit that burns brightly in the heart of the eternal frost. But today, this frozen fortress faces an invisible and insidious threat. The very ice it stands upon is beginning to fail. Yakutsk is on the front lines of global climate change, and the consequences here are far more immediate than in most parts of the world. The permafrost, which has remained rock solid for millennia, is slowly starting to thaw. This is an existential crisis for a city built entirely on stilts. As the ground softens and shifts, deep cracks are appearing in the walls of massive apartment blocks. Roads are violently buckling, and some older, wooden houses have already begun to sink unevenly into the earth. For the locals, global warming isn't a distant, abstract concept. It is a literal shifting of the ground beneath their feet, threatening the delicate architectural balance they have struck with nature. Because of this unique geological reality, Yakutsk has become a global epicenter for scientific research. It is home to the Melnikov Permafrost Institute, where scientists venture deep into subterranean icy tunnels to study the changing temperatures of the Earth. But the thawing permafrost has also yielded incredible, ghost-like discoveries. As the ice melts across the wider Sakha Republic, it releases the perfectly preserved remains of creatures that roamed the Earth tens of thousands of years ago. Yakutsk has become the world capital of the mammoth trade. Deep in the frozen caves and riverbanks around the region, tusk hunters and scientists unearth enormous woolly mammoth tusks, bones, and sometimes even intact animal tissue with liquid blood. Some state-of-the-art laboratories based in the city are even working on ambitious, highly controversial genetic projects, aiming to clone a mammoth and bring the extinct species back to life. Beyond the shifting ice and cutting-edge science, the psychological endurance required to live here is equally staggering. In the dead of winter,